think people, when they think of Pittsburgh, still think of this like very rugged, sort of dirty steel town. And that's not a stereotype that I had coming in. I mean, we've got some great healthcare industries, robotics industries here, so it's up and coming. And it's kind of just, a great place to live, great place to grow a business.
People here get together in teams, I think, much easier than you'd find elsewhere. There's a very strong concept of like the neighborhood here in Pittsburgh, and people form neighborhoods very easily.
In some ways, it's really a big, small town. It's amazing to me. If you need to meet somebody, chances are somebody you know knows that person. And unlike other places, they'll be willing to introduce you and go out of their way to help you.
The 80s, it was a really tough time to be here. People wanted to stick around and they were willing to kind of fight through that. Knowing that that's kind of ingrained in the culture here is what a lot of startup founders identify with.
The reason I started my company here in Pittsburgh is that it has a very, very low cost of living, and you have access to a lot of intellectual capital. There's a lot of very high-level figures in Pittsburgh that are very willing to help you and your company. There are a lot of really great small businesses, and they all kind of build on each other. I would say that one of the strongest features of Pittsburgh is exactly that. The other thing is that there's not a lot of funding here, so it actually makes us have to utilize one another to get what we need done.
I think Pittsburgh is a great place to start a small business. We have access to a very deep talent pool. We have a very strong technology focus, artificial intelligence, we have self-driving cars. It's much easier to open an office, and it's a very friendly city.
So I grew up in the South Hills of Pittsburgh, went to high school here and then moved away. And I made my way back here 2 years ago. And I think that's when I really started understanding how unique this city is. That's a 21st century city that involves high-tech companies, but also doesn't lose its identity, because that's why people really love this place.
I think the value of having events like Table Talk Dinner is really the opportunity for startups to interact with larger companies that both have experience that are helpful for the startup and are, potential customers, potential investors.
I think at the end of the day, there's nothing better for a startup than finding the right large strategic partnership. If they guide you from a product development perspective and even from a funding perspective, that could be a great stepping stone for any startup.
In your first startup, there's a lot of immaturities in your company. They could bring a lot of rich media understanding to my company that allowed me to market my company much better.
We were a bootstrappy Pittsburgh startup, and we hadn't built anything yet. Comcast and Xfinity saw it as a way to highlight some of their latest smart home technology. We saw it as a way to get something built. And so we met them in March, and by May, we had built this demo unit.
So I think the main thing that a large company like Comcast can bring to startups is to be an early stage customer. That's infinitely more valuable than even an investor.